Welcome to Live Your Legacy, where every story holds a turning point, and every turning point holds the power of legacy.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Live Your Legacy. And this is where we explore how life's defining moments shape legacy we leave behind. I'm your host, Patricia D. Freudenberg, also known as Patty from New York. And this show is rooted in a simple truth. Grief is not always about death. And sometimes it comes through life's changes, losses, detours, and new beginnings. Here we speak with entrepreneurs, authors, leaders, and creators who have turned life defining moments into meaningful work and lasting contributions. Because legacy is not only what we leave behind, it's where we are shaping right now through vision, impact, and purpose. And today I'm honored to welcome our special guest, Jake April, who was born with cerebral palsy, and he grew up being judged before he even had the chance to show who he is. His story is about challenging first impressions and proving that the ability is often misunderstood. Through his TEDx talk and other speaking engagements, Jake shares how shifting from judgment to understanding can change lives, not just for people with disabilities, but for anyone who has ever been underestimated. His message is simple: a first impression is not a final one, and everyone deserves the opportunity to make a second impression. Welcome to the show, our friend, our guest, Jake April. For those who may not know you, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and the work you do? Jake, welcome to Live Your Legacy.
Thank you very much. And I know people are going to listen to this on your podcast, but your intro is just so good. People have to check it out. So I hope people are going to check this out on YouTube. So thank you for the question. Yes, as you said, I was born 3 months premature, a pound 13, and 29 weeks. And then in the beginning, my parents were told that, well, I had to go and spend time in the NICU for a couple months, and then I actually came home during the Jewish holidays, which is pretty cool. And yeah, I had trouble. My doctors originally said I might need be able to walk, but I might need a helmet to me when I fall. The only helmet that I wear now is when I play hockey. So I'm very proud of that, and it's something that I'm very, very proud of.
That's really awesome. That's really awesome. I love your
Yeah,
enthusiasm. Was there a pivotal moment that changed the direction of your life or work?
I I, I
I'm
think
sure there
so
was many.
actually.
I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
this many stumps a lot because there's so many in life,
yeah,
right? But what is one
yeah.
that really sticks out?
I think when we we didn't necessarily talk about this, but I think actually when my cousin passed away. She
Mm,
passed away from a heart condition at 24 years old, and
my deepest
she
condolences.
was studying to be a occupational therapist, and I had a connection with her that was an unspoken connection, and still have one, and I I'm trying to live out her legacy as mine, and I know that she, through the work that I'm doing, I know she has an impact on me as well. So that
Oh,
is one big step, and just the people who've been in my corner, as I said before, that doctor and other teachers and people like that are going to doubt me and still do, but finding a team is crucial. And I have a team of people that I've worked with by OTs, PTs. I've worked with them for 25 years or so. And then, yeah, it's great to have a core team that starts with my parents and then goes above and beyond to everyone that I've worked with.
That's beautiful. You know, you're filled with gratitude, and that's really, really a beautiful thing. May I ask your cousin's name? And again, my deepest condolences. And
Thank you.
you said you still have a relationship. You know, as a grief
Yeah,
consultant, that's what I teach. It's a new relationship,
yeah,
and I'm so
yeah.
happy you found it. May I ask her name? It's okay if you want to keep it private.
Yeah, her name's Michaela.
Aw, well, thank you for
Yeah,
sharing her legacy,
yeah.
and I'm glad you're carrying the torch. That's just so special and awesome, and that's right up my
Yeah,
alley, Jake. So,
thank
so
you
thank you
very
for,
much.
so thank you for
No,
sharing
thank
that.
you. Yes, yeah.
So, was there a revelation, a lesson learned, a personal motto, you know? And I know you have your quotes that helped you guide your journey.
Yeah, one is take the first step, even if it's a wobbly one.
Mm.
I
Mm.
I learned through my speaking engagements, and you inevitably you are told because it's a negative world out there. To be honest with you, you are told what you can't do. So the reason why I got into speaking actually was because of my love of sports, and I wanted to become a play-by-play announcer, and I went to school for that at Hofstra University, actually here in New York, and then I was taught by a mentor who told me that I needed to get better at speaking. So I incorporated Toastmasters, which is a public speaking
Wow.
group. And
Yeah.
then they told me I was pretty good at speaking in general and just telling my story. And then I started, and that I should do it professionally. Then I hired a coach to help me because I'm very competitive. I wanted him to help me win some trophies at Toastmasters. And then he said,
Really?
you can do this." So now I've been lucky enough from him to get opportunities to speak on the TEDx stage, and now I'm very blessed and proud to say that my first keynote speech will be on the 13th in Los Angeles, as my sister is a, I don't know her her title, but she's part of the friendship circle, which helps people with
Oh,
disabilities get paired with people who are not disabled, and you could create a friendship. It's a weekly meetup for them at their house, and it's nationwide, so I was able to benefit from it as a recipient, and my sister was able to benefit it as a volunteer, and here in New York, and then she went out to LA and works for them, and is gonna be a recipient of or an honoree that night, and I'm gonna be able to give the keynote speech. So it's gonna be a great night, and very excited and honored
congratulations.
that I was chosen to do such a thing.
Wow. That's really, really awesome. That's really, really awesome. And I did, take a little peek. Actually, I watched the whole thing. Your YouTube, on your YouTube channel, you share the TEDx, and you do give a
Yeah,
great story. And I was like, oh my
thank
gosh,
you.
Jake, you've done a lot, and
Yeah,
you're amazing. I mean, even the fact that like, oh, I love that you went into the journalism for sports. I loved, the stories you shared. How your parents, just I love the what your mom said. Could I share that about the wings?
oh
Tell,
yes,
tell us,
yeah,
tell us.
definitely share that. It's very powerful.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Well, if you guys want to know what I'm talking about, you're gonna have to go on his website. We will share that towards the end of the show and
Oh,
check
thank
out his
you.
YouTube.
I
Check out his
get
YouTube.
you said this is only episode 9, but you're a pro teaser in the podcast world. So thank you very much. That'll get my views up and everything like that. So thank you
Yeah,
very
my
much,
wheels are
Patty.
already
I
turning.
greatly
I
appreciate
know. We
it.
started. We connected through the Audible app called Clubhouse, and we were networking on there. And then you caught my interest already. At hello, to be honest, and truthfully, like to make it on a TEDx speaks, like you have an interesting story, right? We know this,
Yeah.
right? We know this, and even coming onto the show, we are happen to be close enough that we might do our own little friendship circle, right? So let's take it to the next
Yeah,
level. I
yeah,
really like this a lot.
yeah,
I really like this a lot. But getting back
definitely.
to the show and the
Yeah.
questions, I got a little excited there. I got a little excited there. What would you say to your younger self today?
I would say figure out what's important in life and figure out what you just want to do because you see everyone else doing it. So it's so in the beginning I was jealous a lot of my friends because they played sports and I didn't play sports at a competitive level that much. I went to adaptive sports. But then I realized that, you know what? Fortunately, or unfortunately for them, but I guess fortunately for me, I was able to say, you know what? I'm sure not even one person is gonna be a major league baseball player or a professional sports athlete. So I was able to say, you know what? This is going to be just a blip on the radar, and then I'll get to be able to impact and be on the same level as them when I get older, and it's something that I mean it didn't come to me when I was young. It came to me probably as I was actually in this speaking realm, and it probably came to me at like eight, 18, 19, 20 when I first started first started announcing, and now I've been able to turn that into a hopefully eventually full time speaking career.
It looks like it. It looks like it to me already. Jake, can we go back a little bit? We're talking about when you went to college. Did you say Hofstra?
Yeah, I went to Hofstra
I'm real close
for
by to Hofstra. I'm like
yeah
literally a hop and a scop, a
yeah.
hopscotch.
Well, I went since I feel comfortable with you and your audience. I guess I'll brag a bit. I went
Yeah,
to
go
Hofstra
for it. I
for
want to hear
graduate.
it. You got my
I
interest.
went I went to Hofstra for graduate school. So
Nice.
I went so
And they have
sports
great
journalism.
communication. And they have a
Yeah,
great
yeah,
communication department. That's what I say. Wait a minute. Did you have an opportunity to use their facilities for to like
yeah. I was in
in
their
I don't know if it's intern.
their
I don't know what
radios.
it's called, but like
Yeah,
whatever you
their
do in there.
yeah. I was part of their radio station that actually was, I think, 4 or 5 times named the #1 college radio
Yeah.
station in the
Yeah.
country,
That's
and
why it
I've
caught my
I've
interest, Jake.
I've earned some awards from there. So it it's definitely it's definitely humbling to say that I was able to be part of that terrific crew.
That's really that's really cool. That's really cool.
Yeah,
That's still
thank
an
you.
aspiration for me, okay? So that's really cool. What wisdom would you want your future self to keep holding on to?
I think the wisdom that I would like my future self to keep holding on to and to possibly increase is to have that innate sense to realize that what you can't do doesn't affect what you can do, and the
Mm,
people that you love will always accept you for that. So it's, as I've gotten older, I've been able to realize this, but I will never be asked to be on, or to raise my nieces, or maybe care of take care of them physically, because I can't do that. But when my sister needs someone to help her proofread something, she's I'm the first one that she goes to for that.
You're the
So
guy.
so I recognize that even though I can't do certain things, I could definitely do other things. And I thought that was what I couldn't do was important earlier, because it was so pointed out to me physically,
Mm.
with my friends or my acquaintances being more physically capable than I was. But now we're on the same level, and it's, as I get older, I get upset sometimes to know about my future, and the fact that I want to have kids and a family of my own, and maybe physically I can't do some stuff with them if they want to, like, ice skate or anything like that. That is not something that I would be able to do with them, but at least in quote unquote normal terms. But I've I've come to grips that that doesn't pair in comparison with the lessons that I'll be able to teach them from my hard work, and my perseverance, and eventually, hopefully, my wife will see that as well. So I I believe my psychologist, she's really helped me with that. So, and
I love your state of
I met
awareness.
her at Clubhouse as well, Michelle Fannin. Yep.
Oh, that's so cool. And I love
Yeah.
your state of awareness because that's like the golden key, right? When you can own it, be aware of it, instead of just, asking, like, why not me? Why did that
Yeah.
happen? Just being
Yeah.
in a state of awareness that, okay, you know what? Like, I'm not capable of that. But who is
Yeah.
capable of everything? Could you please tell
Yeah.
me who is
Yeah.
capable of everything? I
No,
want to meet that
I
person.
don't think so. Yeah.
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
so.
so.
I don't think so. Some people
Yeah.
don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Something that
Yeah.
you would think, oh, that anybody could cook. No, not everybody could
Yeah.
cook.
Yeah.
Just to
Yeah.
make a point. So, who has been, and this is going to be a tough one, and there could be more than one. So, use your discretion. But I always say, what comes first to mind? Who has been one of the most memorable mentors in your life, and why? I know
I
it's a tough
think,
one.
yeah, one of the most memorable mentors in my life was my first, well, not my first, but very early, when I transferred into mainstream school. I had an aide. She was actually my first crush. Wasn't
That's so
wasn't
cute.
necessarily wasn't necessarily appropriate at that time, but she quickly became someone that I despised, because she made me.
Interesting.
She would tell me, we would go to class and I would forget my binder, and she would allow me to go to the next class and said, "What did you forget?" And then we would go back to the other class and get my binder. I despise her for that, but it just made me more responsible. And, like, I remember I remember one time that, and this has come true. So one time I think at the end of a test that I might have failed, she just told me, "Remember, the goal is for you to not need me, and the goal is for me to not to be a teacher one day." So
Mm.
she's a teacher, and I've gone on to do. a couple things educationally, which I would like to say I'm proud of. So
That's beautiful. And now that you shared that story, I remember we had an open conversation and you tapped on a little bit about this one. There was subject was, regarding tough love. And I know you mentioned it because this was in love, right? She was doing these things, right? In lieu
yeah,
of tough love. And then again, now you are grateful because of it. So that was
yeah.
beautiful, beautiful
I
story,
remember.
beautiful.
I remember she was. I went to my mom's best friend is an OT or was an OT, and she would come into my room to make sure everything was all copacetic. And she said, "I promise I will never be as tough as Jody is." And Jody's like a mother to me. So, and I'm like, great, but I'm like, at the end of the day, she was tougher, and it was funny that it worked out that way. But I'm definitely grateful and the person I am today because of Rossi, who is now Mrs. Kendall, and she has children and everything like that. So
Wow, that's
it's
beautiful.
interesting to see how far we've come because now she's a teacher and I think we set a goal for me to go to college, but for me to be able to be living on my own right now, I think that's even bigger than the college goal that we set, and I'm sure she
That's
is
like
also
neck to neck for
proud.
me.
Yeah,
I feel like that's neck to neck because I mean they're two different lanes. They're both big achievements. So congratulations either way because
thank
that's a
you
big
very
deal.
much.
That's really
Thank
a
you.
big deal. And it's like it's really awesome when we could right when we could reflect and see all those lessons learned. So this question, this is a staple question. What
Yeah,
does legacy mean to you personally? And again, legacy is one of those words that we're hearing a
yeah.
lot lately for some reason. And again, the show is your legacy, but it could mean so many things and it's personal to each one. So, what does it mean to you, Jake?
For me, it's living some, and this is cliche, but living a life that you're
Love
proud of,
cliches.
that everyone else is gonna want, and everyone else is gonna want to follow.
Okay,
It
so say it
doesn't
again because
matter.
I interrupted you because
Yeah,
I love that and it deserves to be heard again.
yeah. Live a life that you are proud of, and everyone else is gonna want to follow. It.
Mm.
I've learned. I thought by saying everyone else is gonna want to follow. I thought if I like the TV show, everyone else should like that TV show. But now I've realized that it's not about all uh, like the direct things. It's some things that aren't direct. I know that that maybe I disagree with like what my mom tells me to do sometimes, but I still love her, and I'm when push comes to shove, I'm going to remember her lessons that she has imparted on me and my dad as well, and it's something that I'm proud of to say that that's gonna be that is I have to remind myself sometimes is what's important
We all
in
do.
life, and that is what's important when they eventually pass on, and when I eventually pass on. Not not everyone's gonna be a sports fan like myself or interested in public speaking, but if my next generation, my kids would say, "Oh, Jake did. I don't like public speaking, but Jake shown me how to go for my goals, and how to respect people, and how to how to be an approachable person." That's something that I want others to take away versus my own hobbies that I enjoy.
Mm. That's so beautiful. And, it's almost like you read my mind because my next question was, What do you hope people remember you most by, and the work that you serve? So you pretty much expanded on that already. But is there
Yeah.
anything else you want to add to that caveat?
I hope I am remembered as someone who worked hard, who was able to get knocked down and get back up, and was able to see what he was unable to do, but adapted to it. And it's something that I'm very proud of. In terms of me personally and physically, it's difficult for me to do some dressing by myself, so like buttons and zippers and stuff like that.
I
So
didn't even think about that, right?
we
To, that's a big
we
feat
yeah,
when you have like challenges, with your,
yeah. So
fine motor skills.
there's fine motor skills. So I have created relationships with people in the adaptive fashion world that have me able to do my own maintenance they because of their great insight, and so now they have magnets instead of buttons, and that helps me live independently, and it's just something that is I'm so grateful for, and also an industry that I could get into myself, as it always feels weird, but like there's not many models that are men in especially in that industry, so it feels weird to like take advantage of a deficit that I have, but it's also, I think, inspiring in some way. So it's
100%.
something
I was
that,
gonna say
yeah,
that to me is like, it's almost like, okay, I'm gonna like compare it to when you help somebody, right? You're helping somebody, but it feels so good that you almost feel guilty, like,
yeah,
you're helping from the goodness of your heart to help somebody who needs help, right? But then you end up feeling good. So that this story
yeah,
reminds me of that. This story
yeah,
reminds me of that. But it's actually a good thing because people need to know that
yeah,
this is available. So it's really, really awesome. I love it. I love it. Look, I
yeah. I
just learned
think
something
it's
new too.
to to think about it as like we all have purposes in life, and many people just do a 9 to 5 job to get what they need in life, and that's absolutely their priority. But if you are talented enough to see something else that you could do to help
Why
people,
not, right?
that you can monetize off of, yeah, why not?
Why not? If it comes in your path, I think that's, on purpose. Yeah, I'm all
Yes,
about
yeah,
living, for purpose, on purpose. So if you
yes.
could do it all over again, would you change anything? Or did every part of your journey have a purpose?
I think I would change. Yeah, I would change the way life has thrown me some curveballs. I would, if I got to pick what disability I had, it wouldn't be a physical disability. It would probably be ADHD or something, which I still have today. But I also wouldn't be able to say literally take the first step, even if it's a wobbly one. And I I think that's powerful because I'm able to take that wobbly first step, and not many people could say they literally are living what they what they preach. So it's or to that extent. So it
It's well
worked
said.
out well. So I've learned how to cope with it, and I think most of it is based off of other people's ignorance and not giving me a second chance, or judging me based off of my first impression, because now I've learned how to live my life of independence and life of my own, it's just about being accepted for who I am, and everyone at Clubhouse, and specifically you today, Patty, have shown me that you are doing that. So thank you for
My
having me
honor.
on. I greatly appreciate it.
No, my honor. I was so excited. I call it say yes to the dress. When, I was honored that, you were going to come on. I did like your story. You're a really nice person and you're being you, boo. And that's the
Thank
important
you.
part, right? You're being you,
I
boo.
I
So
appreciate
this
it.
is the golden nugget question. I saved the best for last. What is something about your journey that most people would be surprised to learn?
Yeah, when you asked me that question, I was so pumped up because one thing got immediately went in my mind. So actually, my my PT, her name well, she is retired now. Her name's Patty as well,
Oh,
and yeah,
I love it.
and we did practice walking and running, and we did speeds to figure out how I was able to assimilate and keep up with people, just like if I needed to walk in an airport or something like that.
Mm, okay.
And then I and then I so we timed myself. Then I went like very fast one day. So I said to Patty, "Do you think I could be on the track team?" She said, "Yeah, why not? Because you're not like you're by yourself." So I convinced my mom to allow me to be on the
I love
track
this.
team for practice. And
I
then
love this.
she's like, "You look a little bit wiped out after going around the track for two whole times." And then so my coach that, and then he ended up like making me walk 30 feet, like not even 30 feet and back, and then we would call it a day. So he did the real extreme there. So I ended up quitting, but it's an experience that I will never forget. So I love that question, and thank you for asking it.
That's really, really awesome. I'm like, wow. I really am wow. So
Yeah,
we are wrapping it up here. This was a beautiful, beautiful conversation, a lot of discovery, exploration. I love that you're doing your, best work and the best is yet to come. We're going to
thank
highlight
you.
your website. And again, I invite everybody to check out the website. I'm going to share the screen now so we could see a visual on it. And here is your hold on, let me just scroll back. There you are. I love it. There you are. And this is Jake April. We're interviewing with Jake April, motivational
Yeah,
speaker,
yeah,
disability advocate, and truth teller. And there on the top you see all your socials, so go ahead,
yeah,
follow Jake.
yeah, yeah,
This show will be on replay on Tuesday, and we're on 14 platforms. So check out our website,
wow,
livelegacy.vip, for vision, impact, and purpose. It is Live Your Legacy Show. And I'm just going to scroll down. And here, I watched this. This was great.
yeah,
Your TEDx talk, great, great story. And I love the insight, and I love the just everything, the overall message. And here we go. Here's a
yeah,
little bit more on the. Go ahead, book Jake. You got
yeah,
the
thank
t-shirts that
you.
you're working on revamping.
Yeah,
That's cool.
revamping, yeah.
And tell me a little bit about this picture. Tell me a little bit about this picture.
Funny
Look
enough, yeah, funny enough, for a journalist, I should know how to spell. Uh,
at
but that is something actually my parents and I and my mom's family have been lucky enough to go on skiing vacations every year for 30 years. And obviously,
amazing.
skiing is something that's tough for me to do with my balance. So that's called adaptive skiing. I am on in a chair, a wheelchair with a remote control that I am sliding down the hill with, and someone is taking just there to make sure I don't fall.
Wow. Love,
Yeah.
love,
So
love.
that program is called Charge Aspen. I've been working with them for a long time. I just celebrated my, I think, yeah, 20th anniversary there, and
Is it only in Aspen
it's just
or
great.
is it all over?
You can find them all over. I just
Nice.
my family goes there, but you can find them all over.
Nice. So we know where to find you in the winter, huh?
Yeah, you do. So
That's great.
that'll be yeah. I definitely get a thrill out of that. So yeah, thank you for asking.
Oh, that's great. And one more time, we're with Jake, TEDx speaker and sports journalist. I mean, you still know your stuff. I would love to watch a game with you. I'm not into games that much, but you must be
Yeah,
somebody fun
thank
to
you,
watch games with.
thank you. Yeah.
Anyway, we're gonna be wrapping it up. And Jake, give us some closing remarks.
Well, first of all, thank you, and thank you for allowing me to tell my story here. I truly believe that everyone has a story. It just takes some time to figure it out. But if we take that time and think about what we've gone through in life, we could shape that story. And just like me having people help me physically, you can, I'm sure Patty would help you shape a story that you have inside of you, or Marcus Black there in Clubhouse does a book, teaches you how to write a book, and everyone there in Clubhouse and Trisha and everyone that is part of that Breakfast with Champions crew. I do get up early. I do go back to sleep, but it's worth getting up and learning all the wisdom that is there. So it's great. Yeah, it just shows you there is some positive stuff on social media. So
It's a great space. It's a great space. And we could do a whole nother hour talking about Clubhouse. So I'm going to wrap it up. This is Live Your Legacy. This is where we share turnaround stories to inspire and motivate you. This is about vision, impact, and purpose. And we welcome you to our, you know, replays available again on 14 platforms. And now, thank you so much, Jake. It's been an honor to have you and look forward to our, what is that, friendship circle?
yes, yes. So
Okay, we got to
that'll
work
be
on that.
out. Yeah,
We
yeah,
got to work on that. We got to work on that. All right, everybody.
yes.
This is Patty from New York, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Have an amazing day,
See
and
ya.
God
Thank
bless.
you guys.
Thank
Bye
you. God
bye.
bless.
And every turning point holds the power of legacy. Every step, every scar, every choice we make leaves a mark that time won't erase. This is where vision comes alive, where impact finds its voice, where purpose